our YakShaver Sprint 118 review and retro. Let's jump in and let's have a look at the sprint. So one of our first sprint goals was the YakShaver cloud orchestration mode for the desktop app. That is partially done. Zeno can give us some updates here quickly.
Yes, so it's actually done. The changes for the backend has been released, and the corresponding change for the desktop haven't been released. So that's why it's partial, but we can do a product release after this sprint meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, so we snuck in up here quickly in before this one, which caused some merge conflicts, and hence it wasn't fully done. The next sprint goal was YakSmasher. That was missed. It was definitely bigger than initially anticipated. Stephen, can you give us a quick update on this?
Yeah, so when I asked the AI to do a plan, it comes with a big plan that including the backend, the API, and all the authentication things. So it breaks this PBI into 5 small increments. I finished the first one, which is creating the backend database and also create the APIs and backend. And then it's on review at the moment. And then I was side quests from lots of people and doing the YakShaver 360 UI experience change. And then it's not finished. And
when you say create database, does that mean there's a separate database for YakSmasher?
Yeah, we need to create some columns against this feature.
Right. Okay.
Not separate database.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen. So the next sprint goal was polish YakShaver 360 portal and the desktop UX. That has been done. We get into details once we look into the backlog. And another sprint goal was to generate the blog post from the sprint summaries. Stephen, you created a skill for that. Can you give us a brief update?
Yeah, so I create a skill to summarize the weekly sprint review into a blog. And also there's a skill to generate the banner image together. Also, we have created a new YakShaver blog that introducing our new YakShaver Anywhere feature. If you have the link, can you?
Yeah, once we go through the different items, I will bring it up.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting because after the sprint review, we're gonna test it out, see what post it will generate. Then we had a stretch goal, which was basically the YakShaver 360 pipeline to integrate it with the Teams one. That's a pretty large task that I worked on last week. I had only 3 days. I did split it up into a few smaller PBIs, and one of them has been already migrated, but the core feature is still in development.
So do we start on the stretch goal before we finish the second goal? The YakSmasher goal?
Stephen was on it, but then he got side quest to do some other implementations.
And he's the only one who can.
So at that time there was nothing else available for me, so I started basically the 360 pipeline at that time.
Okay. Okay.
Looking at the internal hours, we tried to bring up the report, but for some reason the report has been missing. We followed up with the sysadmins, but have yet to receive an answer what happened to our report. But pretty much everyone was 5 days except me. I was only 3 days, and Willow was 1 day. So once we figure out what happened with the report, I will update the image here. Now, looking at the sprint backlog, there has been a whole bunch of done items against the YakShaver desktop apps which have been merged, and most of them were done through Armada. There have not been any videos behind them yet because we ran it off the cloud, and the cloud doesn't have a UI because it runs in a terminal environment, so it can't run the desktop app. Before we did have the videos because we ran it locally on our machines, which is the key difference. Some double ups. Then we have one update on the portal here, which there should be a done video, which I'm gonna quickly demonstrate.
Is this automatically produced?
Do you like me to go through the video?
Sure.
Yeah. Let me share the sound, optimize.
When you shave a yak, YakShaver's AI works through your recording live. It clones the repository, reads the code, and reasons about the fix, streaming every step as it goes. It's great to watch, but there's a lot of it. Here's the change. The moment processing finishes, the important part is pinned right to the top. A green processing complete banner, front and center, instead of buried at the bottom of the log. Right underneath it is the link to the work item that was created. One click takes you straight to the new issue with no scrolling to hunt for it. The full step-by-step log isn't gone. It's collapsed by default because once you're done, you rarely need it. Click Show Processing Log and every step is right there when you do. Collapse it again and you're back to a clean summary showing just what matters, the outcome, and where to find it.
All right, moving on. The next PBI, we have a sidebar status for the desktop app, which shows you quickly what the status is. I don't know why the screenshot is very low res, but it gives you, let me open that maybe in full screen. Yeah, it's low res, but it gives you the status of the login, the MCP servers, and the language model, so you can quickly see what the status there is, and if everything is green and working. Then we had a whole bunch of PRs on the desktop app that we reviewed from Armada. In most of them, we didn't need to do any changes. We could basically just review it and merge the code. Then we had one bug fix for iPad and Mac OS, iPad OS, sorry, where the missing screen recorder UI guidance, and you cannot switch between back camera. Steven, can you give us an update on this?
Yeah, so initially we had a feature on YakShaver Anywhere to allow user to turn on their camera on the laptop, but when it's on the mobile device normally have multiple camera, the back ones and the front ones. Initially, we didn't have the feature allow user to switch the cameras. So now I added a control bar on the camera setting. So when user recording, they can flip the cameras and also zoom in, zoom out, use the camera features as normal. So this is a optimization for mobile device users.
Any questions from anybody on this one? Well, thank you for that. Zeno, the one sprint goal that was missed by the PR today, I think you have a done video for this one too.
Yes, I will take over the screen. Sorry. Yep. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a done video for the migration of the 316 pipeline to desktop. So I will give you more details in this video. Can you hear the sound coming from the video?
No, not yet.
No? Okay. Got to. Okay.
This is YakShaver Desktop, and today we're looking at a brand new way to make a shave, YakShaver 360 mode. Once you're signed in, your portal account shows up in the bottom left. That account is what unlocks 360 mode. To switch modes, we open Settings and go to Model Settings. Until now, YakShaver gave you two backends. The native mode is powerful. You can bring your own custom MCP servers, but it needs a lot of local setup, including your own API keys. Claude Code is great too, but it needs the Claude CLI installed locally and an active Claude subscription. YakShaver 360 is different. If you have a portal account and a YakShaver subscription and you just want to make a shave fast, it's the simplest path. It fully reuses YakShaver Anywhere from our web version, turning the desktop app into a lightweight, thin client. No local API keys, no CLI to install. Let's select YakShaver 360, and we're switched. Now we hit record. From here, everything is identical to the web version. First, YakShaver asks which project to shave into. The picker is fully searchable. For this demo, we'll pick developer.debugdump as our target. Then we choose a screen, capture a short recording, and shave it. From here, everything runs in the cloud. There's nothing to configure locally. Your recording goes to a cloud sandbox and comes back as a real backlog item, powered by the same engine behind YakShaver on the web. And there it is, a GitHub issue, created automatically. That's YakShaver 360 mode, for anyone who just wants the fastest, simplest way to make a shave.
That's all. Do you have any feedback?
That's good.
Oh, cool. I think you
Thank
can
you.
take over the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Zeno. I'll take over the screen share again. All right, since we had no further question to this PI, is there any other questions on regarding the backlog or the PIs?
Sorry, I'm still thinking about this skill.
Yeah.
Who accepted your pull request?
Oh, I need to double check that.
Stephen, isn't it?
Could be. I don't know without checking.
Stephen, do you remember accepting his pull request for the skill?
When the skill is not inside the repository.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that right? It's like, so it's not in there.
No, it's not part of YakShaver.
Okay. Okay.
So before we had Armada, before we had anything.
Oh, you did this before. Oh, this
Yes.
is before Armada.
Correct.
Okay, but once Armada came, I didn't understand that. Did you?
So
Did you know you wrote it before Armada? I thought you wrote it
because you
after.
just said that. But you ran it this sprint, right? Even though we had a model, or was it run from ages ago? We're just looking at it now.
This one was a week ago, basically, ran 5 days ago.
So after Armada. But doesn't it strike you as wrong? Like, I know you keep saying it's kind of, I didn't know that you created before Armada. I thought you just created it in the last sprint or two.
No,
But as soon as you have Armada, wouldn't you ZZ it and start trying to eat your own dog food?
well, I was still working on Armada to get it working in the cloud, to get
Right.
the whole video working.
But what's your long-term plan?
Well, the long-term plan is to get Armada to the state where we can use it.
Right. Okay.
So currently it's doing the code part, but not yet the video,
Right.
unless we run it locally on our computer.
Right. Right.
So because I had this already set up, I just thought I'd run it, get the video, and keep working on the Armada changes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem to do that. I guess though we probably want the skill in the repo somewhere.
Yeah.
If we're working on it until we decide, okay, now it's ready to put in Armada, then we remove it again and put it in there. So that way someone else who clones the repo can also use the skill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, however you do it, Stephen should do the same. Zeno should do the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be producing a different style video. That's why I'm kind of so confused. I've got your style video, but I've got the Zeno style done video. It's perplexing.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely with Armada, if we keep using that, there should be a consistent format with that. So just as a note, you wanted, like we demoed before, the cloud version where we showcased the before, the after of the feature or bug.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought once I saw that, I thought we're moving forward with that. And then I'd give feedback and that would affect everybody's done videos. Does that make sense, Stephen?
Yeah.
Hmm?
But Tom's skill was from before that.
Yes, I understand. But I'm kind of wondering why Zeno and Stephen didn't go, hang on, what's going on? Why is the done video different or worse? Yeah. All right. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, let's move on. So looking at the velocity, we committed 36 points. The sprint delivered 18 points, which is a 49%. Those 5 working days. In terms of research and development, Stephen continued with the YakShaver to create this standalone widget that can be installed or basically added to websites and then remotely log issues for that. And for the AI tool usage, I quickly hand it over to Zeno.
Yeah. So basically, for Tom, Stephen, and me, there's no changes compared to last week. And for this sprint, we got reloaded drying. We have tried the new models coming from Codex. It's SOAR 4.6, and for the AI status, the cloud has summarized what we have done in this sprint. So the all the items is accurate, and can scroll down. And for the copilot states, it counters the speech time for everyone, and it's accurate. And also it also summarized the main issues about the last sprint. So it's about the UI changes and some updates to the portal. So it's also accurate. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Zeno. So the overall project snapshot, we have 753 open items, committed 0. That seems strong. We will see that once we go into the forecast. The average velocity is 18 points. And for the sprint retrospective, I hand it over to Stephen.
Thank you, Tom. So for what went well for the last sprint, we looked at back to YakShaver and have reviewed a few Armada PRs. Most of them look good and didn't need any change. Then I mentioned reviewed a lot of PRs from Armada. The devs were focused more on sprint goals, leaving Armada to handle the smaller bugs fix. Tom said Armada did a good job identifying PBIs that were recorded against code base, and only implemented the relevant diff. What didn't go well? Stephen said we have underestimated the PBIs and put too many goals in one sprint. Tom mentioned as per Scrum, there should be a single sprint goal per sprint. We had 4+1 stretch goal, and there's a reference. For what to improvement for next sprint, Stephen said we should focus on improving one area at a time and then work towards to a clear long-term plan rather than trying to build a great product within a single sprint. Tom mentioned needs to spend some time on Armada and the skill making them work in a cloud environment, in particular logbook. Back to you, Tom. Thank you.
Any questions on any of these items or feedback, comments?
No, but I would definitely like to know, how many, how many items that are waiting for pull request acceptance at the moment?
At the moment, there's one because I was testing the logbook feature. The logbook
Right.
is basically
Okay, that's fantastic news. Last sprint there was a lot, right?
Yeah.
So who cleaned it all up?
we did. I mean the team.
So yeah, but which person in the team cleaned it all up?
It was shared between Willows, myself.
Yeah.
I looked at some.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody did some.
Yeah.
I don't see it mentioned here in the sprint retrospective that it seems like a good thing that you got rid of them all. Like that was a big piece of pain.
It's basically these parts reviewed a lot of PRs from Armada. Armada did a good job.
Right. Okay.
So
And so did Armada process a lot more PRs as well this sprint? Because the last sprint there was a lot.
correct.
This sprint it feels like there wasn't any, as though it was disabled or something.
So yes, I mean these ones were all done since last sprint, right? So for the upcoming sprint 19,
Yeah.
there's not as many because multiple reasons. Last week on Thursday we ran into the weekly usage with the shared plan on Tiger.
Right.
We're monitoring this in the following sprint just to see if it was a once off, because some people started using Fable as well, which kind of, I would say, muddied the stats a little bit. So
Well, why is it muddy the stats?
because Anthropic released Fable 5
Yes,
again, so
yeah.
people jumped on it, which uses way more token.
Yes.
So that's most likely why we ran into the weekly limit.
Oh, right. But what do you mean muddies the stats?
Because we don't know if it was based on Armada stats,
Oh.
Armada token usage,
Or people using it.
yeah, or people using it with Fable.
Okay. So how do you want it to work and how do you fix it so that it doesn't happen? I guess that's something we can take offline, but yeah, we do need to talk about those.
Correct. So the plan is to monitor this sprint, and I'm partner of in the chat of the AI team. I let them know that I started today Armada up again because I
Right.
posted.
Okay.
So we keep an eye on it. And if we reach, I don't know, 60, 70%, I may pause it
Right.
for now. And then we can figure out which route we want to go, either a separate subscription or we throttle Armada a little bit.
Right.
The other thing, what the product owner or stakeholders need to do for new features on, let's say, the desktop app or in future any other Armada supported project, they need to have a workflow where they go through the backlog and select the features which align with the product roadmap, because a lot of the projects, anybody can put anything particular in there. So we need a little bit control over that. And that will be the flow. I briefly talked with Yuli today in the morning about it, as well as with Callum during the review. So we need to figure out what the best practice there will be. And then I also throttled Armada instead of running 3 PBIs in parallel to a single one for now, but it runs in a tick. So it runs, for example, and it's configurable every 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, it checks the backlog. If there's a PBI with that label, it will pick it up and process it. Meanwhile, yeah, if the next tick happens, it picks up the next PBI.
Right. Okay.
So that should all help with token usage. Does that answer your question, Adam?
Yes, it does.
Cool. Where were we? That was all in terms of the sprint retrospective. Let's have a look at the sprint 119 forecast. So looking at the sprint goals for next sprint, we definitely want to continue with the YakShaver Anywhere embed script that Steven was working on. And that's one thing we plan to finalize.
Is that Yak Smasher?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe AI didn't pick the name up, so let me change that. Good pickup, column. Thank you. YakSmasher. With YakShaver Anywhere.
I think the first sprint goal should be to get YakShaver working nicely on an iPad.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Like, I cannot use the existing version. Now, I'm okay if it doesn't work at all, as long as it has a warning. It says not supported.
Which part are we talking about? The YakShaver Anywhere?
YakShaver, yeah. Oh, well, do you call it YakShaver Anywhere, do you?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay,
The-
that's a cool name. But when did that turn up?
Last sprint review.
Okay, all right. I feel like the very first one should be YakShaver Anywhere, working with, everybody using it instead of the Teams version. And then you're working on YakSmasher. One is an existing thing, and one is an improvement, a new feature.
Yeah, I agree. Because I feel like currently we still have some holes on the YakShaver Anywhere version. Not just on the iPad version. There's still improvements on the overall YakShaver Anywhere version.
Right.
Maybe we can put a go on top of that. Exclamation.
Okay.
Steven, can you just
Yeah,
make a
okay.
note for that and then we adjust it? Yeah, the second is the recording and AI flow updates, which is the PBI here. Let me bring that up quickly. Which is basically that's something I mentioned earlier to you, Callum. So when we added the YakShaver Anywhere, we basically focused only on the functionality of it to get it over the bridge. But that means currently it is not tied or coupled with the credit usage. So that's something we urgently need to update so that recording through YakShaver Anywhere, it updates the credits properly. And then as the third goal, we need to make sure that we have the naming and terminology correct. So as we now call this YakShaver 360 YakShaver Anywhere, we need to make sure that everywhere in the code and the naming is consistent, because on some areas it still pops up as YakShaver 360. So that's the third sprint goal. Does that sound correct for everyone?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, the team is me, Steven, Willow, and Zeno. We all 5 days, except Willow, she's 3 days on there. And yeah, we added a few bug fixes into the sprint. The sprint goal PIs, of course. And some macOS desktop issues, and then we will update the usage item based on your feedback to add some more iPad and iOS improvements into it. And then at the end, I also added some Armada PEIs into the sprint that I want to work on to make it easier to onboard future projects, as well as fixing up the logbook, which is the recording part. If there are no other questions, I move on to the AI stats. Happy with that? Good. Zeno, can you give us quickly the rundown on the AI
Yeah.
stats?
Yeah, so for the AI status, the cloud status accurate, it summarize what we going to do next, cover all the PBIs we just created and check in. And the next one, the copilot status. So the main item we decide to do is about the epic that Steven just take over. So it's also part of Spring Goals. It's accurate, and I think that's all.
Thank you, Zeno. If there are no further questions, then we're pretty much done with the forecast. I will upload the video to our SSW YakShaver YouTube channel. Thank you everyone for your time and see you next sprint.
Thank you, Tommy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.